What's up, Instagram? Hope you're doing well. I'm closing off the studio, but not before we dive into this Q&A. Earlier this day, I requested you guys what I could help you with, and you actually sent in some questions. So those are the ones that I will talk about in this live session. But first, I'm curious to hear how you guys have been doing. Happy New Year, by the way, to the ones that I haven't spoken to yet. I've had a great time. I've kind of had a short time off, maybe a week and a half. Not doing that much, so you might have noticed that on the socials. But yeah, it's 2020 and I'm getting ready for a new year, new opportunities, new insights. And hey, what's up, Pradeep? How are you doing? And yeah, it's gonna be an interesting year. I think not only for me but for the whole world. Like it started off pretty roughly with the whole bushfires and stuff, and Iran and America, and it's just gonna be a weird and interesting year. For me personally, I think I want to keep developing as a person. I want to keep learning. I want to read books. I want to do courses. I want to do trainings, whatever it takes to develop myself as a person, to become stronger mentally. And that's a big goal for me this year. Um, yeah, that's how my last couple of days have been. And yeah, right now I'm just, like I said, I'm getting ready to close down the studio. But first, live stream where I will answer the questions that you guys have sent in earlier today. Let's start off with this one. Do you have any tips on how to be more confident on stage? Let's think about that. What could really help? There's a lot of artists, well, not a lot of artists, but I know some artists who do this, and it's called visualization. So before you start your show, you can close your eyes and think about how you are going to experience the set. Because once you can see it in front of you, you will get the same emotions, you will get the same confidence that you have on stage. I actually had the same thing with going on stage because I was actually talking about this with my mom yesterday. Every time when I had to go on stage as a DJ, the first 5 minutes before my set, I got nervous as hell. No reason why, just I've been doing it for a lot of times, but somehow I kept being nervous every time. And then as soon as I started the set, my nervous just completely left and I wasn't nervous anymore. So what could help doing this is visualization, as I just mentioned, and also try to relax yourself. Maybe breathing exercises, all those kind of things. And one little tip that might help you. What's up, Michael Politi? How are you doing? One little tip that might could help you as well is if you look at the audience, don't stare them in the eyes, but slightly look over them, as in watch on the top of their head. So you look like you're looking at the crowd, but you're actually just watching the end of the wall, in the back of the room. Because of course you need to give the audience the feeling that you have a connection with them and that you're actually looking at them. But at the same time, if you're not really confident with it, this is just a small little trick that you can use. So just look at the wall in the back, slightly over the heads of the audience. So it looks like you're watching them, but you really aren't. That might help. What's up, everyone checking into the live stream right now? Hope you're doing well. What's up, the Goose? What's up, Sepp Larsen? What's up, Elvari? Mohamed? Good to see you guys here. Andrew Sound. What's up, what's up, what's up? I'm handling some questions here, so if you have a question, feel free to ask it. And yeah, I'll just go over a few. Here's another question. Which genre do you think is going to be big in 2020? Well, as many of you, I'm not able to predict, so it's really hard for me to know which one is going to be big. I do think that 2020 will be a year where artists start to be creative a bit more, because in the last couple of years it's been copying, pasting a lot. And of course this will always be happening, but I think We will see some interesting new sounds this year. Not quite sure which one is going to be the biggest one though, of course. But yeah, I think that pop thing will maintain for a long time. And tech house as well. Tech house and techno and the pop sound will maintain, I guess. And I think tech house will also grow kind of enormously because that scene has been going wild lately. So might be interesting to keep an eye on. What's up, David? What's up, Scarlett? Welcome. What's up, Fredo? Just answering some questions here. Marketing funnels for music. Interesting question. Marketing funnels. Not sure what you mean because, of course, you can create a funnel. As in, you can start collecting email addresses. You can create like a tutorial which people can download for free, but not until they have put in their email. So you can start building your email list and you can contact them once your music is out. What's up, Mitchell? Hello. But as an artist, it's pretty hard to do marketing funnels because your audience doesn't really like it when you sell them something. So you really need to have a good reason when you decide to sell your audience something as an artist. If your new track is out and you feel like you want to if you feel like you want to reach out to them to sell them something, do it on a really great way because people might leave. People might not like it if they feel like they are being sold to something. So yeah, marketing funnels I don't think are the greatest idea for an artist. Of course, it's good to build a mailing list, to build a fan base that you can reach out to at any time. I would always recommend people to do that. But marketing funnels, I'm not sure if that's the greatest thing to do as an artist, especially not in the beginning of the career. What's up, everyone? Just checking into the live stream. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a great start of the year. I'm just closing out the studio and sliding in a quick Q&A session right here on Instagram. You can just send in your questions here. I think I will receive them under the question tab on my app. I'm actually 100% sure. So if you have a question, just leave it here. I will try to answer them all. And where was I? What's up, Jay? Hope you're doing well. In the last couple of weeks, we've also been... What have we been doing? A lot of things have been happening. As you probably may have noticed, the amount of content has been going up and up and up. And you can expect to come a lot more to come. I'm actually recording a lot of new podcast episodes as well because I've been kind of lacking with that in the last weeks because I was busy with the whole online training platform that we've been launching in the last couple of weeks of the last year. So my focus wasn't completely with the podcast. I did manage to upload some new episodes though, but no interviews. There will be new interviews coming in the upcoming weeks. I actually have one with the Goose later this week. I have one with Shanahan, for those who know him, and with the father of Hartwell as well. So that's going to be really interesting to hear a story, a success story from the sideline, as in from a father, a parent perspective. That I think that's going to be a really interesting one. So do note that there will be a lot of new podcast episodes coming, a lot of new content is coming as well. And this year we will also start focusing on the online learning platform with artist coaching. So if you like to learn about marketing, if you like to learn about artist branding, there's a whole tab on the artist coaching website where you can go to and you can learn about all those things. It's going to be an interesting year, as I just mentioned. I don't have a question at the moment, but I want to say thanks. You help me a lot, and you always motivate me to keep working. Thank you, Kaluzinski. That means a lot. I really like getting those messages. I get messages in the DM every day, and that helps me so much as well. It motivates me to continue as well, even on the days where I feel down. Sometimes I feel down as well, or unmotivated or uninspired. Uninspired, that's the right word. So those messages really help me, and I like hearing it from people that it helped them, any form of the content that they've been watching. Hello, Kyoda. What's up, Ashiki? So yeah, keep them coming. Thanks for your nice words. To anyone who's just joining the live stream, if you have a question, drop it down here. I will be answering them in the upcoming minutes. I'm doing really well. Kyoda Riwal, Ka Utorayal. It's always really hard to pronounce all those names you see on Instagram. By the way, we also started something new yesterday in the podcast, which is a book club, like kind of an old book club. I've been, since last year, I set a goal for myself to start reading. And I've managed to read about 15 books. So I started doing book reviews, books of which I think are useful, are valuable for an artist to read. And yesterday was the first episode. It was about a book which is one of my favorites called The War of Art. And I still remember when I read it, well, actually listened to it for the first time, because I listened to audiobooks. It completely blew my mind. Like, it explains so much about the human brain and why a creative person is struggling to be creative, why a musician is struggling to finish his music, why a painter is struggling to finish his paintings, why an entrepreneur is struggling to build his business. It's just all a mind game. It's all a mental game. And I'm so intrigued by it. The book is called The War of Art. I'm so intrigued by it, and it's so interesting to me. So I can really recommend that book. It's the first one of all the other ones. There will be a lot more. Check it out. It's on the podcast right now. Artist Coaching Podcast. How do you think about becoming a music producer? I would do it. It's the greatest time to start doing it. It's the best time right now to start to become a DJ and music producer. It never has been. No, it's not The Art of War. That's a different one. It's a lot of people go mix those two up. It's The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. That's the writer. But it has never been a better time to start if you want to become an artist. Like, never has been as easy as it is right now. You can have all the resources you want just for little money or even for free. All the opportunities are open, you know. I really see it as a positive time to start becoming an artist, and yeah, give it a chance, you know. If music is something you've always inspired you, so if music is something that has always inspired you, and if you feel like it's your passion to start doing this is the moment to get started. What's up, Max Lean? Hello, I want to be a DJ and producer like you and like Martin Garrix. Well, first of all, right now I'm not a DJ and music producer anymore. I always have been. Martin Garrix obviously is. But the only tip I can give you is, if you want to reach a level like I did or Martin Garrix did, work your ass off and be different. Do something that nobody else is doing. Try to do something different from all the other producers and do it a lot. Be consistent with all the things you do. In my opinion, you can narrow it down to two things right now. It's music, like releasing music, a lot of music. And on the other hand, it's posting content. Being online, being visible online, doing live streams like this, posting content. Those are the two focus points for every artist in the upcoming year. And I think even years from now. Do you ever think the music you did in the past was better than now? Sometimes I do. Like, I'm not making music anymore, but there definitely have been some tracks that I've been releasing in the past, of which I'm still really proud, of which I still think they're great. They still sound great. I don't know how I managed to do that, but somehow I did. One of those tracks, which is not really familiar, but which I really like, is Smash It. It actually has been released on a sub-label of Spinnin, called the Made in Dutch at that time. And I believe that track is over 10 years or 11 years. And to me, that track still sounds great. I've produced it on my own bedroom at my parents' place. And if I listen to that sound, you can literally just still play it today. It's kind of timeless. So it was one of my first tracks, but still one of the tracks that I think are still relative right now. Relevant, sorry. What's up, Mac Vass? Boy Thompson, welcome. If you have a question, feel free to drop in or just watch whatever you want. Feel free. What kind of labels should you send your tracks to? I guess the big ones is just a waste of time. Well, sending it to the big ones depends. If you use those tools they have on their websites, that might work because some of those labels actually check those inputs, those received tracks. But, if you pick a label that fits your genre and pick a label that is able to add value to your release. Don't just sign your track because you have a release on a label. Sign a track because you can get a better result by signing it with a label instead of doing it yourself. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of labels out there who simply don't add value. They just put your track out on Beatport, on Spotify, on iTunes, which is great, but that's something you can do yourself as well. You don't need a label to do that. It will cost you about $10 a year and your track will be on those platforms. So you don't need a label to do that for you. Why you need a label is to reach a bigger audience. So for example, if you're a starting artist and a label wants to sign you and that label has an audience of like a fan base of 10,000 people, by signing your track to that label, you will reach 10,000 people that you wouldn't have reached by yourself. So that's an extra value. One other value that a label can bring is when you sign your track and the label has a big network. So when I say network, I mean knowing people in the music industry where they can drop your music. So for instance, another artist, another DJ, which they know, which they just send your music and say like, hey, DJ X, you should check this track out because it's from this new talent that we signed and you should play it. One thing that you know for sure, if the label has a strong network, the artist, the bigger artist, will actually check the email and will actually listen to the song. So chances will be bigger that your music actually will be supported by those artists. Is there any other upside? Sometimes it could be money as well, promotion-wise, because some labels do have financial possibilities to back your promotion plan up with some money. Most of the time those things are recoupable, but still, it's something most of the starting artists don't have. So I think those are the three things you could focus on when you're looking for a label. And of course, it should match with the genre that you're making, but it's kind of obvious, I guess. So yeah, that's the main focus thing, what I should focus on with a label right now. And unfortunately, most of the times it are the bigger labels which are capable of doing those things. That's the whole reason why they're big labels. But there still are a few of those smaller labels with like a 10,000 fan base, 30,000 fan base. And those are the ones that you should focus on because those are the ones that are still open for new talent, that are still actually checking all the emails and still actually checking all the demos. So that's your way in, I guess. Take it one little step down. It's still a step up, but it might feel like a step down, which could function as an intermediary to the bigger labels. I have your WhatsApp number. Can I maybe send you a song I'm struggling to release? Maybe you have a better ear. You can always send it, to everyone who's checking in right now. I have a WhatsApp number. You can find it on my socials. You can send me a text there. You can send me a song. You can send me a question, whatever you want. Let me just look up the number here quickly. The number is +31 6 17 34 82 76. So if you didn't have a notepad next to it, you can just watch this live stream back later on and note the number. You can just send me a message there. I'm very perfectionist, partly because I play classical violin and piano. How do you know if your music is good enough to be released? This stops me and it bothers me a bit. Well, Mikael, maybe this helps. You're definitely not the only artist who has been struggling with this. Well, actually, I kind of believe all the artists are struggling with this, because perfectionism goes hand in hand with being creative. You're creating a product and you are the person who is going to decide when it's good or when it's not. You can compare it with art. If you see a piece of art, who is going to decide if it's nice or if it's beautiful or if it isn't? Because everyone has a different taste. I might like it, I might be willing to pay 10,000 euros for it, but someone else might think it's shit and think it's not even worth $1. So that's the same with music. Everyone has a different look to music. Everyone has a different personal taste. So you can never please everyone with your music. What the most important thing is for you is to create something you like to put out in the world. Just put it out there and then see what happens and learn from the feedback that you get from the audience. If you release a track and like 100 people say, holy shit, this is the best thing ever, then you get that confirmation that you're looking for, because then you start to feel better about your product, you start to feel better about your music, and you'll be motivated more and more to start releasing more and more. But the only way to get that whole process going is by starting releasing it. And that's the struggle that a lot of artists have. So that's the main thing I can recommend you to do. Just get started. I know it can feel really hard to do. It can be scary, but I will promise you, just get started and all those other things will start to come automatically. I do not have a demo mail. To Dinaxel asking, I don't have a demo email. Let's see, where do I find labels? Is there a website or something? If I, for an example, have a Brazilian bass track, how do I find labels? What could work best to find a label is just simply to go over to Beatport. If you're not familiar with that website, it's a place, kind of an iTunes store for DJs. That's how you can see it. Go over to beatport.com and look through all the genres that they have and see which one fits the most. Then click on that genre, go to the top 100 and check all the labels which have releases in the top 100. Contact those labels. Those are the ones that you should focus on. Great to hear, Mikael, I think it's Mikael. I really hope you're gonna release it because it will bring you beautiful things. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope I brought some value to one of you guys. Thanks again for following me on the socials for like the last couple of months, years, weeks, days, whatever the time has been that you've been following me. I will see you guys soon. Thanks for watching and thanks for asking the questions. Bye.